It is Sunday, June the, I don't know, 7th or something, around about there. A nice, bright, sunshiny day, partly cloudy day. For here, that's good. It's been raining like cats and dogs for ever to the last two days or so. What we're gonna do here today is working the corn just a bit. Here is the first corn I planted, I think in early May, like May the 6th, I'm not sure. Then like about 10-12 days later we planted this corn, and then it rained and rained and rained, so it was 2 weeks before I planted this corn here. And this corn here has been up. This is the third day that this corn has been up. It was just a little nubbin nothing 3 days ago, but corn gets suckers on it. And here's one right here. Just almost everyone, they'll have a sucker on each side of it, and periodically you got to go through here and just yank the suckers off, or it just sort of saps energy out of your corn if you don't. Some people don't yank these off, but I have always yanked them off. And it does weaken your plant temporarily, just a little bit, the root structure. Anyway, sometimes if you let your suckers get really big and pull them off, you can feel that the corn is a little bit wobblier after you pull them off, but it'll strengthen on up, and within a day. But I'm going to be planting beans in my corn this year. I'm also going to be fertilizing a little bit, side dressing it. I'm going to take this little tool right here, and just in proximity to the corn, let's say a foot on each side of it, and in between it, I'll kind of disturb the ground a little bit. Most people would do it with a hoe, but with a hoe you got to kind of use two arms, and with this I can just use my left arm where it doesn't hurt my right shoulder or anything. So I'll be doing that, and then punching in seeds here and there through the corn, and I put seed, like 4 seeds just within a few inches of the corn, 4 on each stalk. I had a fair yield of beans doing it like that, nothing to brag about. So this time I'm going to be putting those same 4. In addition, I'll probably put another 4 or so in between the corn stalks. So yeah, that'll wind up hopefully increasing my yield without overwhelming it. You're not going to get a huge amount of yield on your beans when you put it in with the corn, because of course the corn is shading your beans a certain amount. My garden is on a hill, so basically I only put this fertilizer out on the upper side of each corn row, so it won't all just wash away if I put it on the lower side of the corn row. Next year I'm changing my garden. It won't be on this hill. Gardening on a hill is about twice as much work, it seems like. Okay, now I shall ruffle up the ground with my tool here, and then we'll be punching some bean seed in. Sort of a catch-22. You got to get close enough to your stalks to do a little good as far as your weeds and all goes, but you don't want to undermine the roots too much. Like I say, most people would be doing this with a hoe, but since I've got a bad shoulder, I prefer to do it with this little tool because I can do it one-handed. Hoe, you pretty much got to do it two-handed. It's going deeper than normal because of the beans that I'll be planting. Okay, I've now pulled the suckers off of these 2 rows of corn and side dressed it with fertilizer, and went down each side of the row and through the middle with this little tool here, sort of digging up the ground and mixing the fertilizer in. Every time I work in my corn, I usually pull a little bit of extra dirt up around the stalks, so it winds up, I don't know if you can tell that much, they wind up being on kind of a little bit of a ridge. And I guess maybe for a reference, you can look at what I've done here as opposed, it looks similar to this before I started, of course. So that was the before, kinda, and this is the after. You can tell it's a much more inviting place for my bean seeds to grow. Okay, hopefully you can tell that. Anyhow, we shall plant some bean seeds. Okay, so I'm gonna go like I was saying before, about 4 seeds or so around the plant. I'm just gonna kind of I'm not even gonna worry about it being around the plant. I'm just gonna sort of mix in a bunch of beans through here. Each bean, I'm gonna go start, a couple of inches on either side of each plant and put every seed, about 3 or 4 inches apart from each other. So, and there's a look at what the seeds sort of look like before I punch them in. Maybe you can get an idea of how thick I'm putting them. The sun's kind of shining brightly here. It may be hard to tell, but like I was saying, maybe about 4 inches to either side of the stalk and about 4 inches apart. Except on the lower side here, my ground kind of slopes off a little bit because there's just so much dirt to be had when you're pulling dirt from the middle. You kind of run out of dirt. I have a dirt shortage. But anyway, there it is. Maybe you can see it. Maybe you can't. We shall see. Oh my God, it's a blister.